Should work feel like work? This is an important question for anybody working because if you feel like you're working all the time, then you're doing something wrong. Usually, I don't say that. Usually, I don't like to put pejorative judgments on various things, but working itself should be tied to play. There's work and there's play. As many philosophers have said, if it always feels like work, you're doing the wrong thing. There should be an interaction between these two things. You might be able to find your work by playing more, and you should be able to relieve that feeling of work by playing more. So, but it's not always going to be the case. Sometimes your work really feels like work. So there's nuance here. It's not as cut and dry as most people would like you to think. We have the hustle culture, which says work all the time. Those people like working. Don't listen to them. For other people, you can work to live and find a job, go to a small city, find a job that you don't hate, and just live your life and make the money that you need to in order to pay for the rent. You know, small cities like Santa Fe, places in Colorado, places with nature where you can kind of, if you like nature, mid cities, you can go and get a normal job and live those lives. In places like San Francisco, where the economics of it don't work out, it becomes highly competitive, and that you better hope that you like your work, because you're going to be working all the time in order to do this. So I'm going to go back to the question I asked. So I asked a question on Twitter: how often does your work feel like work? How often does it not feel like work? Have you ever gone through a period of your life that doesn't feel like work? And did you feel guilty about it? Do you have a voice inside of you that says you should be working all the time? For me, I have a voice all the time in my head saying you should be doing more. And for the last few months, I've realized that. And then I've started to question it and ask it like, oh, do I need to be working at this very moment? Do I need to be doing something? Or maybe I should just look at that voice itself and ask it questions like, why are you bothering me right now? And mine is so pervasive. It's like, it is a more or less constant urge to do something, to fix something, to create something. And I'm thankful in a lot of ways for that voice, because I'm able to do videos like this. This video doesn't, a year and a half ago, this video would have required a lot of mental energy for me to do. And now it's just kind of something I do. It doesn't feel like work. I feel like I'm playing right now. And yet this is my work. I'm creating content. I've got a podcast called Crazy Wisdom, and I'm kind of creating content for other people. So that is my work, but it's also my play. I'm interviewing people because I really enjoy having these conversations and putting a microphone in front of somebody and getting access to their wisdom. So it's like something I really enjoy doing. So oftentimes my work feels like play when I'm in front of somebody at my house. I do them at my house, and I'm yesterday I interviewed Bram Cohen, who's the creator of BitTorrent, about cryptocurrencies and technologies. And it was like, I have access to this person who is very, very intelligent, and I'm not as intelligent as him. And I'm able to kind of pull things out of him really kind of like quickly and understand some of it. And now my understanding of Bitcoin and crypto and proof of space and proof of time is now really much more thorough than it was before yesterday. And I just love doing that. So I have this guilty voice all the time, and I can't really give you advice because like I still deal with it all the time. There's the best thing that I've found is start to question it and resist it in some ways. Like the main thing that I've found value in my life, giving me more energy in my life, is a spiritual practice. You don't need to use that word spiritual, but basically it consists of reading things from people who have gone down the path before, inquiring into my own state, finding subtle impressions that have been left inside of my body from previous difficult experiences and questioning them and really experiencing them. For some people with childhood trauma, it is imperative that in those experiences, in those times, our body wasn't capable of dealing with the pain of that. And so it's stored in our bodies. And this is with everybody, not even with childhood trauma. Like if you have a fear of death, the first time you heard about death, you probably have an impression that was left. Or if you had a really good experience where you really enjoyed yourself and you wanted that experience to last for longer than it did, you also have an impression that's been left on your body. So part of spiritual practice is understanding these impressions and getting to the root of them and feeling that initial either grasping or aversion, and recognizing that it's not bad, that happens to human beings, and that we can, part of the spiritual practice is to understand that that's happening and then feel those experiences of either grasping or aversion. So let me see if I have any other things to say about this. Yeah, that sense of guilt that a lot of people have that they should be doing more. There's no clear answer to that sense of guilt except to feel it and to understand that it's not you, that feeling of guilt is just a feeling and that it will pass unless you are aversive to it, then it will stick. If you resist that feeling of guilt and say, I don't want to feel this, then it's going to stick around for a lot longer. The things that we tend to resist also come. The things that we tend to grasp towards tend to stay away from us. This is a spiritual principle that I have found. Investigate it for yourself to find out the truth of it. Don't listen to me. I'm just sharing my experiences, what's worked for me. So hopefully this is helpful. Please let me know if it is helpful. If you have enjoyed it, please consider checking out my podcast, A Crazy Wisdom, on iTunes or Spotify. You can also sign up to my blog, stuartalsop.substack.com. I'm doing all this for free right now, just kind of creating so much value and taking a little tiny piece of that value so that I can eat and I can live my life. But I really want you guys to value from this. So please let me know if it is helpful for you.